Let's Science is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
3, 2, 1.
We live in a universe of scientific wonders.
Every day, scientists are inching towards breakthroughs which can change our lives.
We're playing our small part in sharing these wonders with you.
That's why today is a fine day for science.
So let's science.
All right, Caroline, I love it when we have a Maltese topic. We don't always have a Maltese science. But we do today. So, Caroline, tell us all about discovering Mesolithic Malta.
So this one was particularly exciting because we don't often get a lot of scientific news out of Malta. And this has shed a new light on the history of Malta. We know, if you know anything about Malta, there are the Neolithic temples there. We call them temples. The Neolithic structures that are there, very similar to Stonehenge and other places in the world.
And some older than Stonehenge as well. Like
yes, that's
by
right.
Thousands of years.
Yeah, by maybe 1,000 or so. But
Sorry.
in my mind, the peoples of that time were probably just from my watching of documentaries and stuff. Probably those people were connected. They built very similar structures and had similar carvings on temples and everything. But anyway, that's another topic. But this, guys, is going before the Neolithic. And we are discovering Mesolithic Malta. And this is very exciting. So we're going to talk about the habitation of the islands of Malta in the Mesolithic. Now, for those of you who may not know, Malta is a small group of islands, predominantly the large island of Malta and the smaller island of Gozo, with smaller islands dotted around them. And why is Malta special to us? Basically, it's the land of my birth, and also Lindsay, obviously, Maltese parents. You were just missed out being born in Australia.
just by this much, just by a smidge. Yeah.
You're Maltese through and through. And
hey, pasties you like anyone else.
Totally.
I don't know, Lindsay. Oh, I'm so hungry.
We're heavily entrenched in our Maltese culture, even though we grew up in Australia. And Lino, your wife, Bernadette, Maltese as well.
Oh, definitely. It's a trait that has engulfed me, and I have totally.
You're practically Maltese now, so.
Yeah, adopted you. Yeah.
Well, once I went to Malta and come back, and I just can't stop it. And people going, Lena's talking about Malta again. Why? Because I absolutely love the islands. And it's beautiful people.
Yeah. I took another teacher's homeroom the other day, and a student saw my surname. She goes, "Are you Maltese?" I said, "That means you're Maltese." She goes, "Yeah." And we both said at the same time, "We're everywhere." It's true. We're everywhere.
It's true. Yeah. We're everywhere. I mean, we are. And it's so good. Sometimes it's easy to feel like you're the only Maltese person on this big island, but it's not true. There's a lot of us here.
That's true.
So there was no way I wasn't going to talk about this when I heard about it. Okay, so let's get into it. So for decades, a long-held belief that humans didn't reach Malta until the Neolithic era, around 7,500 years ago. This was because of the perceived technological limitations of our hunter-gatherers and the challenge of long-distance open water seafaring to isolated landmasses such as Malta. And the closest landmass to Malta by sea is Sicily in Italy, being about 100 kilometres away. And by boat, like back in the Neolithic time, it would have been quite difficult to get to. But
which, by the way, is partly the heritage of Don Bettinelli, the CEO of the network. He's part Sicilian as well. We have to mention that when we talk about Sicily.
Yes, and when I did my ancestry DNA, we are Sicilian descent from probably about 500 years ago. So we're family points to Sicily also back in the day.
Tom, we're probably cousins.
We're cousins, that's it.
We're cousins.
Yeah, so our Sicilian ancestors moved to Malta and we became Maltese.
Yeah. That's why we like to make people an offer they can't refuse.
There's so much history tied up in Malta. I could do any podcast about it.
Yeah, it's right.
But anyway,
true.
So a journal article titled Hunter-Gatherer Sea Voyages Extended to the Remotest Mediterranean Islands was published in the journal Nature on April 9th, 2025, this year. it shows that people inhabited Malta by about 1,000 years earlier than previous thought.
Oh, wow.
And this study was led by a team of researchers and led by Eleanor Sherry and Maltese researchers.
Such a Maltese surname.
Yes. Yeah. Maltese archaeologists. That's really great. The evidence for human occupation was found in ancient remains at the Latnia cave, or in Maltese, Artal Latnia. So R is the cave of Latnia.
Well done pronouncing that, because the spelling of it sounds like yeah.
Thank you.
Good work.
Now, it's located in Melilla in Malta, along the western cliffs of Melilla near Circeua. So it's situated in the northwestern part of Malta. The cave is approximately 25 meters high and opens towards the sea and is by the coast. The excavations were performed recently between 2021 and 2023. And the archaeologists have been extremely excited over this. They actually couldn't believe their results themselves. So they really did do a lot of study and repeated a lot of what I'm going to talk about now. And because, they really wanted to make sure what they were finding is what they actually thought they were finding. So in Trench 4, so this is one of the trenches dug in the area. If you watch Time Team, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what Time Team is, you need to look up Time Team on YouTube. So now, in Trench 4, they uncovered the early to mid-Holocene sediments, and this period dates between 11,700 to 6,500 years ago. In these layers, they found evidence of human activity. They identified distinct hearth features and ash-rich deposits, and the team conducted Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy, or FTIR analysis. Now, what they found was the presence of pyrogenic calcite, which is the chemical signature of wood ash, and also they found thermally altered clay. Further analysis of the underlying sediments beneath the hearths revealed reddening and enrichment of iron oxides, which is actually evidence of in situ burning. So it confirms that this was caused by human constructed combustion and not by natural fires. In the same layers, they found phytoliths, which are microscopic silica bodies from plants within the ash samples, which they are assuming that the plants were used as fuel for the fires.
Oh, cool.
And it included species, so they could even go down to species of the mastic shrub, which is native to the Mediterranean, and the indigenous Mediterranean fan palm. Now, another cool thing is that stone tools were also found in this trench. Wow. The tools are typical for people living in this time period. So, once again, if you've ever watched Time Team, watch it on YouTube. It's an archaeology series filmed in the UK and hosted by Tony Robertson. You might be familiar with these stone tools, as they often find them on digs when they're getting into this period of time. The stone tools were made by a technique called knapping, where stone is hit together on a certain angle, and when you get good at it, you get nice sharp edges on the stone, making it useful for cutting and slicing.
Cool.
So, for example, processing natural resources, wood and meat and things like that. And the difference between the stone in the UK and the stone in Malta is that the Maltese tools were made from limestone, which is practically what Malta is made of.
Limestone.
All limestone.
It's beautiful. Actually, beautiful.
Yes, they're beautiful for sure. And they think that the stones used to make the tools were sourced from beach pebbles or outcrops on the land. And they found about 64 of those artifacts in the Mesolithic horizon, so that strata of the trench. Researchers also found evidence of the food people living in this area ate, suggesting heavily that they were hunter-gatherers and not farmers, as the people in the following Mesolithic we mentioned. So their diet was actually quite diverse and showed that they adapted to the environment pretty easily. They were able to hunt red deer and birds, but the most abundant food that they seemed to eat, which resonates quite a lot, with me was the marine gastropod, or the mollusk, or small snail called Phorcus turbinatus, which is a little sea snail. And the reason why it resonates with me is that when our nana and nanu used to come from Malta when we were little and we would go to the beach, my nana would pick these little shells off the rocks.
Yes.
You know those ones off the
I
rocks?
remember doing that. Yeah.
And the little pippy shells and all of that.
Yeah.
And that was like, wow, there's so much of it here. And so it's obviously been passed down for generations that you eat these shells. Yeah. So that's why I was just going, wow, it's been that long that people have been doing it.
Wow.
So, so tens of thousands of these snails, well, it's not snails, of these shells. Snails. Although the Maltese do eat snails.
They do eat snails.
There is a delicacy, a dish of just land snails. Tens of thousands of these shells were found in the area, along with the remains of limpets, fish species, mostly groupers, crustaceans such as crabs, sea urchins, and even seals. This means that the people relied heavily on the sea for their food, and the Maltese are still known for their love of seafood.
That's right.
To date, the charred food remains and the shells of Phorcus turbinatus snails, and the researchers used accelerator mass spectroscopy, or AMS. They were able to determine that this human occupation occurred 8,500 years ago, which is about 1,000 years earlier than previously thought.
Yes,
The results were repeated and they kept getting the same answer, which is awesome. Like I mentioned, they wanted to make sure that it was what? Really? Yes. Okay. So humans inhabited Malta in the Mesolithic era, well before the well-known Neolithic occupation of Malta. And Malta still has a lot of visible evidence of Neolithic structure on the island, which is really amazing if you get to see it. The discovery of people living in Malta in the Mesolithic is an amazing discovery and really rewrites the history books of Malta history. Usually we learn about habitation of Malta by people in the Neolithic era, which a lot of Maltese people are quite proud of.
Yeah.
But now we can say that there was a population of hunter-gatherers initially inhabiting Malta, something that wasn't known until these archaeologists started digging here in Arta Latnia, or Latnia Cave. And now we have to ponder, how did people get to Malta? Did they make the trip from Sicily, or did they come from Northern Africa, which wouldn't be too much of a stretch if maritime capabilities were better than we assume in the Mesolithic times.
Yeah.
Our DNA does show that we are from all around the Mediterranean, including Northern Africa.
Yes, that's right.
And just goes to show we need to give our ancestors credit for being adventurous and resourceful and really embodying the spirit of survival at any cost. And that has really come down through the Maltese people as well.
Yeah. Yep.
And plus, Malta's a beautiful island. Who wouldn't want to live there?
Just looking at some of the photos in the articles you sent, I'm like, nostalgia straight away.
Yes,
it's
totally.
so true. So beautiful. Yeah.
So there you go. I thought I really had to talk about this.
One of the things in the article was talking about, rowing possibly 100 kilometers from Sicily.
Wow. Can you imagine that?
How would you even do that?
How would you do that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like you said, maybe their maritime skills were more advanced than we understand, or maybe it was the aliens, or who knows. Right?
The aliens.
Yeah.
Maybe. After they built the pyramids.
Yeah, it's aliens until we can prove otherwise. So, yeah. I keep thinking. So go, Lino.
I was thinking that first, they didn't have junk food back in those days. So I say sometimes processed food doesn't do well for your body. Those travelers and those explorers, if they rode from Sicily to Malta, 100 km, I am not surprised. Because they've probably been fit, they've been eating healthy, they've been looking after themselves in the sense that, they've been,
they were used to hard work.
And you can imagine, and then they're just rowing from that. I wonder if there is there an event like that, guys? From Malta
Sicily to Malta, possibly. I don't know.
There's a rowing, not a rowing competition. Yeah. Oh my goodness, man!
The ferries go from Sicily to Malta.
Exactly, there's a ferries.
People with private yachts make the trip too, don't they? If you've got a private yacht, you can make the trip. Yeah.
These days it's quite safe and quick, like fast.
That's true. That is true.
If any friends we know have a private yacht, just putting it out there, I'd love to. Yeah, let's go for that trip. Yeah, yep.
Oh gosh.
Very good.
Cool. Now, just quickly,
All
there's
right.
prickly
Yep.
pears over there, so that's beautiful. Prickly pears.
And over here. Yeah, you can find
Yes.
them here too now.
Yeah, we used to have a big one in our garden. Big
That's
plant
right,
of
yeah.
prickly pear.
A lot of work to get the fruit out of those, though.
A lot of work, but worth it.
Yeah, but worth it. Exactly.
That's amazing, Caroline. So there was another. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's is it a rewrite of history?
Yeah, always rewriting
It is
history
a
with each
rewrite of
discovery.
history.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It was
is,
previously unknown, the habitation during the Mesolithic period. This is the first time it's ever been looked into.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Good work.
Cool.
No, well done. I love that topic, Caroline. Thanks for that. Yeah. Always, Malta is always welcome to be a topic.
Let's Science is brought to you by StarQuest Media and is a fortnightly podcast that brings you the scientific wonders of our universe from a distinctly Catholic point of view. For more from Caroline, Lindsay, and friends, listen to the StarQuest show, Catholics of Oz. Find links from today's show at sqpn.com/science and find the Catholics of Oz at sqpn.com/Oz. Be sure to follow the show in Apple Podcasts, Google Play, wherever you can find podcasts, or on the SQPN YouTube channel. The generous donations of our patrons at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue Let's Science and all the shows at StarQuest, which makes our nonprofit mission possible. You can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. Join us next time for more scientific wonders, and thank you for listening to Let's Science on StarQuest. Here's another show on the StarQuest network you're sure to enjoy, The Secrets of Stargate. Find it wherever fine podcasts are found or at sqpn.com/Stargate.